56,000 watt all-wheel drive Chang Lees, man.
On tracks.
Yeah. It doesn't seem tall enough to me, but I gotta keep telling myself
The actual bend is here, not here.
here we go.
I have filmed and edited Ethan doing this for 7 years now and somehow managed to never bend a tube on my own until now.
So I think you can run that right. See this mark?
Yeah.
See how this is 1.5 inches this way? You put the mark on the back side of your block, not the front. Now you figure out how far away you want this. There. And then you figure out your degree number. So 90 degrees times 0.078 is the distance that it takes to get from here to here. So then you measure across this, like put this against the square of the table, measure across to where you want.
Ethan stepped in and helped me with the measurement, and it really wasn't as complicated as it sounds. All of the required math is on a sticker on the side of the bender, so after a quick push in the right direction, I realized that I was just overthinking it.
Uh-oh. I run over my own extension cord on purpose.
We might actually have enough now.
Really?
Possibly.
the showdown between Trump and Karen Bass, the mayor of LA.
I'm exercising my emergency powers. You have to exercise them also.
I did exercise them.
So when Trump flies in to see the fires in LA, meets Gavin Newsom right off the airplane, an awkward moment. I think Trump can see right through this. The mayor, Karen Bass, is sitting in a fire station waiting for this press conference. Trump does the smart thing. He tours the area and speaks with people so that he is equipped when he gets there for what is about to happen. We don't get exchanges like this very often.
I don't want to be the only one to give you permits like in one day, and then I find out that the cities, the towns, and the state is not going to give you permits.
The game that's being played here is remarkable. Don't overthink it. Don't overcomplicate it.
You might need 7 different permits. You shouldn't have any at this point. You should just let them build. And you know, you're only as good as the weakest one, so.
So the person in the back of the room says, we were told last night 8 months it would take to get one of these, to be able to access the lot.
It's what everybody said.
Well, and let me just tell you that we are going to do everything we can.
See how unspecific that language is? We're going to do everything we can. It's
Slashing regulations, expediting everything.
See how broad that is? Expediting everything. Okay, can we get a little bit more specific?
So that people can begin the process right away. You know, we have the Disaster Recovery Center on Pico in Westwood.
Oh, great. We have a disaster recovery center.
We have building and safety there. People are already contacting the local agencies.
Oh, they're contacting the local agencies already. It's only been a week, 2 weeks.
We're bringing our city departments together so that people don't get caught.
They're bringing the different departments together so that people don't get caught
In the loop of going from one room to the next. We want them all to be in the same room.
They want them all to be in the same room.
So that you can get busy rebuilding ASAP.
I don't know what she just said. Language that means nothing. It's just the boats floating on the surface.
Absolutely.
Look at Trump's face. I think he's just like, what is this lady talking about?
Yes. Yes.
This guy leans over. This lady doesn't know what she's talking about. Yeah, I know. Hold my beer. Watch this. Yeah, so this guy in the back of the room is pointing at the fact that they're being told it's going to take 6 months to be able to even begin this process.
6 months is no good.
And the number one thing that we are going to do immediately, and you will see this happen, is to clear out the debris. And you know, we're concerned right now over the weekend because of the potential rain.
Before it was too dry, now, well, it's going to rain, so we can't, that's going to halt operations.
We're going to move as fast as we can, but we want you to be safe.
And nothing ever trumps safety, which is true, and it's why that is so often used.
We want you to be back in your homes immediately.
But the people are willing to clean out their own debris. It doesn't
Yes,
cost
and
a
they
lot.
can.
Can they, though? Because this other individual just said it would take 6 months. So is she lying?
You
And
should
they are
let them
able
do
to-
it because
No,
by the
they
time you
can do
hire
that.
contractors, it's
Right.
going to be 2 years.
If a family...
If people are willing
want-
to get a dumpster and do it themselves and clean it out,
And they can
there's
do
not
that.
that much left. It's all incinerated.
That's right.
And, you know, it's just going to take a long time if you do. You can do some of it, but a lot of these people, I know that guy right there that's talking. I know my people. You'll be on that thing tonight, throwing the stuff away, and your site it'll look perfect within 24 hours, and that's what he wants to do. He doesn't want to wait around for 7 months.
Okay, so the city is not going to be able to get around to clearing these lots for 7 months. That's what the concern's being articulated. It's my house. I want to go in and clean. I want to be able to handle my business. I don't trust you to do this at this point. You can't even work in the rain.
Till the city hires some demolition contract
If
that's going to
individuals
charge him
want to build-
$25,000 to do his lot.
A catastrophe such as this, you suddenly have a shortage of people that are able to do the work because there's a higher amount of demand, a lower supply of the labor. So then that labor can charge even higher rates. Because then if you do want to hire someone privately, unfortunately, a lot of the people are in the position where it's like, I have no choice but to do this myself.
I think you have emergency powers just like I do, and I'm exercising my emergency powers. You have to exercise them also.
He knows the game here. He just listened to all that nonsense she said, and he knows nothing she's saying actually means anything. And he's going to point out the fact that you have the ability to do this. Make no mistake. He's really speaking to the American people. Make no mistake. She has the ability to make these decisions.
I did exercise them.
Because I looked,
signed
I
an
mean, you have a very
emergency
powerful
declaration.
emergency power, and you
Yes.
can do everything within 24 hours.
Yes. And if individuals want to clear out their property, they can.
So people in the back of the room point out that they can't even get to their lots, though.
Well, yes, but you know that you will be able to go back soon.
When is soon? When? Could you, if this is the game,
Mr. President.
We think within a week.
we think within a week. That's a long time.
That's a long time, a week. I'll be honest. To me, everyone's standing in front of their house. They want to go to work, and they're not allowed to do it.
And the most important
week
thing
is
is
a
for
long
people to
time.
be safe.
See, there it is again. 'Cause safety will always trump everything. We all know that. That's logical, of course. If you don't have your life, you don't have anything. But don't wield that as a tool. And that's what this looks like.
They're safe. They're safe. You know what? They're not safe. They're not safe now. They're going to be much safer. A week is actually a long time, the way I look at it. I watched hundreds of people standing in front of their lots, and they're not allowed to go in. It's all burned. It's gone. It's done. Nothing's going to happen to it. It's not going to burn anymore. There's nothing to burn. There's almost nothing to burn. And they want to go in. The people are all over the place. They're standing, and they say, why aren't you going in? We're trying to get a permit. And the permit's going to take them, everybody said 18 months. You said 18 months. You said 18 months.
18 months, that's crazy. And Trump has the ability to point to people that are actually telling him this information because he took the time before this meeting to go around and look at the damage and to speak to people.
There will be more fires until we include in any disaster relief items which will prevent it or at least mitigate it from happening again. So you're going to see us proposing both of those.
Like water. Little things
we're gonna
like
do
water.
that for
You
them.
know, the party of common sense. See, we're the party of common sense. You're not, in all fairness. We have about 6 commutations in there where we're doing further research. Nice to see you again. So this is a big one. Anything you want to explain about this? We hope to get them, we hope they come out tonight, frankly.
To the person on steroids. Does anyone doubt this? Does a single person out there raise your hand need to see an experiment to prove this? But Jeremy F.A. did it, and so let's watch the video.
Brandon will train naturally using my science-backed strategy.
Oh, but it's a science-backed strategy. It's science-backed. Perhaps he watched a Jeff Nippard video, perhaps Mike Israetel.
Like all I feel is rage.
And so we're going to put all the long-range partials to the test, and so we'll see. Is the natural going to gain as much muscle as the guy on steroids? Nope. Sorry to break it to you, but nope. And wait till you see the end. You are going to be shocked by the results. Was this thing staged? Let's find out.
On day one, Todd is coming in at 183 pounds and 19% body fat, while Brandon weighs only 148 pounds but scores a lean 13.6% body fat.
And so already we have it not really fair. We got the guy that's taken steroids. He's at 19% body fat. It's kind of chubby. While the other guy is more of a newbie. Bro plays tennis. And so with newbie games, do you not think it's going to be easier to put on muscle in comparison to guys been training for years? He's dieting down for a bodybuilding competition. And so bro just finished his bulk. He's now going to have to cut. But will the guy on steroids be able to continue to put on muscle while starving himself for a bodybuilding competition? And so foreshadowing, he started at 19%. He ended up at 7%. He dropped 12% body fat. And so how much muscle could he gain? In comparison, bro plays tennis. He starts training with Jeremy F.A., screaming at him, train exactly the way you need to. Oh, and let's add in creatine. And so will he in fact come out on top? And by the way, this is an ad to sell Jeremy Ethier's training programs. And so let's see what the final results are. Will Jeremy Ethier's training program be better than steroids? And sorry to break it to you, but they never even used Turk Builder, nor did they use Geotomax. Even though there's a freaking money-back guarantee, Jeremy Etier didn't decide to put Turkesterone Turk Builder to the test. What's wrong with you, Jeremy?
Because I'm seeing so many new lifters immediately hop on gear, I want to prove you don't need steroids to make amazing progress.
And so he's going to prove that you don't need steroids to make amazing progress. I think that you do. And yeah, I get it. You can do so with SARMs, peptides, and so on. But we're talking about amazing progress. The kind of progress that you see in before and after transformations. When people think of amazing transformations, they're thinking of guys like Usain Farhat. Did you see his transformation? And last I checked, he didn't follow Jeremy Ethier's program. He just put in the work, trained harder than last time, progressive overloaded, but had amazing genetics. If you have amazing genetics, you show up to the gym and you put in the work, you're gonna have an amazing transformation. Add into that steroids, and that's how you get an IFBB Pro. But if you just train for 100 days natural, please, pretty please, don't expect to have an amazing transformation. You're not gonna look in the mirror and think, I can't believe it's me. I don't recognize myself. I see the same face, but where the heck did these pectorals come from? I can't believe how much muscle I put on.
The result? Overhead extensions grew the triceps 1.4 times faster.
Don't believe the height. He's gonna yap. We're gonna prioritize the stretch. It's growing 1.4 times stronger. Jeff Nippard actually did a real study doing this, and guess what? No significant difference. There was no difference. And by that, there was actually 10% fewer gains on people doing the long-range partials in comparison to full range of motion. And although it wasn't significant,
there was no statistically significant difference here either.
Long-range partials, aka science, didn't outperform the regular training that people have been doing for years.
Let's go.
What was that? Teaching Brandon how to actually train to failure.
Every single rep closer to failure, on average, it leads to more growth.
And so Jeremy Ethier's science says that every single rep closer to failure, it leads to more growth. Well, that is partially true. I do in fact believe in training to failure, but not if you're a beginner. If you're just getting into the gym and you're training haphazardly, you're a weekend warrior and so on, I don't believe it ideal to train all out to failure on every single repetition.
Training with Jeremy is extremely hard, like 5 times as painful. So I'm doing like 5-6 reps more than I would usually do.
And so he says it's painful to train with Jeremy. I'm doing 5 or 6 more reps than I'm used to doing. And so here's the thing. If you're not even training close to failure, you have 5 or 6 reps in reserve, which is most of you out there. Most of you train like pussies. You're worse than Jeff Nippard. Jeff Nippard, at least of late, he is in fact pushing himself to failure. Remember, in the past science-based training, he left 3 reps in reserve. And so what Jeremy Etier is pointing out is that if you train harder than last time, push yourself close to failure, that you're going to get greater gains than last time. And so what I've been saying for decades, but no, Coach Greg, he doesn't make sense. He doesn't have a PhD. He just has a master's in kinesiology, the same as Jeremy Etier. But have any of you stopped to ask Jeremy his grades? How did he actually do in university? Coach Greg, I had the highest average, highest GPA every single year, but what would I know? University medal, master's in kinesiology, but I couldn't know anything about training. 59 bodybuilding competitions, IFBB Pro card, world record holder to the bench press, Guinness record in the deadlift, but what would I know? But what would I know? Only coached multiple IFBB Pros. I wouldn't listen to Greg. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Jeremy Etier, Mike Israetel, Jeff Nippard, I would listen to all of them.
But Jeremy being there, pushing me and telling me to do like partials at the end. Definitely more optimistic now.
There you go.
And to remember, on day 1, when you get in a new client, you don't push them to failure and beyond doing long-range partials after failure. It's going to be too sore, get too much soreness, and so what you do is you progressive overload. And so if I had a new client, shut up. And so if I had a new client and they were training on average 5 or 6 reps to failure, I'm going to say, today, let's train about 3 or 4 reps to failure. Get used to that first. Do you feel that? You're pushing yourself harder. And then when they get used to that, and assuming they're not getting overly sore, you can tell if you're overtraining for the most part by how sore you're getting. If they wake up the next day and they're thinking, oh my goodness, I'm so sore, you went too hard. But if it's a day, perhaps 2 days later, and you're thinking, I don't feel anything, go harder. And so you were once at 5 or 6 reps from failure, then at 3 or 4, you're now at 1 or 2, and eventually, as progressive overload indicates, you now train to failure. And then you keep doing that, and eventually you go past failure. You do long-range partials at the end, drop sets, supersets, and so on. But you don't start out like that. It takes time. It takes minimum months and or years.
So once steroids make their way into your muscle cells, they bind to a powerful androgen receptor. Once bound, they alter your muscle's genetics to dramatically increase the rates of protein synthesis and recovery.
And so bro on steroids, he's able to train twice as hard as he once were. Used to train for an hour, now he's pushing it up to 2. When you're on steroids, it's kind of like building a house. Rather than having one worker showing up, you've got an entire team. They're building their bricks, hammering the nails. They're building the house faster than ever before. Sometimes 10 times faster.
How much of a difference will this all make after 100 days?
Big difference.
Well, based on prior research, beginner natural lifters can expect to put on about 3.7 pounds of muscle after 100 days of hard training.
And remember, beginner natural lifter, 3.7 pounds expected, but that's in a beginner. If you've been trained for years, if you're close to your natural genetic limit, you're probably not going to gain any.
Enhanced lifters, however, gain muscle about 3 times faster, resulting in over 13 pounds of muscle gain within a similar time period.
And so if you take 2 beginners, both of which have newbie gains, and you add steroids to one person, no steroids to the other, they're probably going to gain 3 times more muscle. But remember, this depends on your genetics. It depends on how many years you've been training and so on. If you take 2 guys who've been training for perhaps 10 or 15 years, both of which are at their natural genetic limit, and they both train for 100 days, the person who's at their natural genetic limit, they're going to gain 0, none. They're at their limit. But the person on steroids perhaps going to gain 10 pounds of muscle. And so they're infinitely gaining more muscle. Does that make sense? For those of you good in math, one person can't gain any, they're at their genetic limit. The other person gains 10 pounds of muscle, they're gaining infinitely more muscle. See, I used to teach math, right, Jeremy? I'm actually a smart guy. I don't look smart. I sound like the parrot from Aladdin, but I actually know what I'm doing.
Todd had already added 2 centimeters to his shoulders. As for Brandon,
About the same. 116.
Shocker! You really thought his shoulders were going to be noticeably wider in, what, a week or 2 from doing side laterals? Oh, but it was with the cable, long leg partials. He was really focusing on the squeeze. It takes time.
I feel like I'm a skinny bitch. I'm small, fat, and skinny. That's who I am.
And why do you think that is? It's because he watches Chris Bumstead. As you know, Chris Bumstead is a skinny bitch. He says it in half of his videos. He feels like a skinny bitch. Most people watch Chris Bumstead, most famous bodybuilding YouTuber of all time. So people watch Chris Bumstead and they develop body dysmorphia. They look at his physique and they want to look like that. And then they look at their physique and realize they're never going to do it. And so what do you think they then do? They resort to taking steroids. The steroids do in fact improve them, but it's the hedonic treadmill. They're never going to be happy. Even Chris Bumstead isn't happy. You don't think Chris Bumstead wants to have bigger biceps than last time? You don't think he wants a better back? Of course he does. And so Chris Bumstead, for the most part, he works out in a sweater. He's covered up. Then a couple weeks out from competition when he's shredded, 5% body fat, the pump cover it comes off, shows the work he's put in. And so we see Chris Bumstead at his best, the Mr. Olympia champion. And then we actually expect that we might be able to look something like that? Of course not.
I generally have a pretty hard time putting on size, so I'm hoping this new nutrition plan really helps.
I generally have a hard time putting on size, says the guy that barely works out and plays tennis. Yeah, it's hard for me to put on size. That would be like somebody saying, I generally have a hard time learning Spanish. I practice Duolingo 15 minutes every other day. Of course you do. I'm practicing hours. I got a tutor practicing 3 hours a week, and I'm doing Duolingo. And check this out, first place on the Duolingo tournament. Every week the top 5 moved up. We challenge each other for points, scores, practicing words. And I managed to come out on top. 1,222 words, I believe it was in a month. Now remember, I probably forgot more words than I learned, but you got to practice.
now while Todd definitely had us beat the first month, he's now spending the rest of his time dieting for his show. which may slow down his muscle growth just enough for Brandon and I to close the gap.
No. You really think that just because he's going to be in a calorie deficit that he's going to lose all of his muscle? Bro's on steroids. He started a cycle. Yeah, he's going to do a lot of cardio, 60 to 65 minutes a day. He's going to be in a dramatic calorie deficit, but he's on steroids. And so the energy from his stored fat cells, that is going to provide the energy for him to build muscle. And so even though Bro's on steroids, he's still going to put on far more muscle than the guy who's natural, who claims to be bulking. He ain't bulking, he's main gaining. Y'all say he's bulking. He's bulking. He's on a bulk. The bulk is amazing. He's main gaining.
Brandon is extremely active, playing several hours of competitive tennis per week. Even after eating 3,000 calories a day, Brandon was still struggling to put on weight.
And so did he in fact bump up his calories to such high extents? I mean, the calorie increase, it was through the roof, 500 calories, perhaps 1,000. No, it wasn't. He's literally playing tennis hours and hours a week. That is known as cardio. Cardio burns off, say it with me, calories. And so is he in fact bulking if he ups his calories but burns off those calories doing cardio? It's not a bulk. That's called maintaining. And so am I bulking? I'm eating 4,000 calories a day, riding a bike an hour or more. Is that a bulk? Or am I just maintaining? If my body fat is about the same and I'm slowly putting on muscle over time while getting in more cardio, am I actually bulking? I don't think so.
Although Todd has his special juice assist in him, we've got a natural supplement we'll be taking full advantage of, and one that could give us as much as a 1 to 2 pound boost in muscle: creatine.
Creatine up to a 1 or 2 pound boost of muscle. Do you really think that Turk Builder wouldn't have gained more than that? I'm asking you. If you don't believe me, there's a money back guarantee. I'm telling you that Turk Builder is far stronger than creatine. Creatine is backed by thousands of papers saying that it works. Turk Builder has a few studies, but they're in other countries. And those that are in our country, they use fake testosterone from China that's labeled as testosterone, but isn't actually testosterone. Turk Builder contains testosterone from Uzbekistan. It works. The studies show that it works, but y'all
Copy
talk
that.
about those
Advise when
studies.
you're close to Kentucky,
Why?
I'll
Because they're
pop
from another
green smoke.
country? We're going to discriminate against studies because they're done in other countries. And so we're only going to use bullshit studies from North America using fake Turk from other labs. So we have third-party testing proving this is testosterone from Uzbekistan. It's not from China, it's not fake, and so if you want to compare it to any other company, be my guest. Use, for example, Derek's Turk Flex. Go and buy it. See how you like it. Then switch over and use Turk Builder from HLT Supplements. And document your results. Post the results and let's see. Remember, we've tested several other companies. We haven't found anyone selling actual testosterone. We haven't found it. And I'm not going to talk to you about all the bullshit that's going on behind the scenes, but we have true, actual, real testosterone from Uzbekistan and can prove it. But can they?
Now I can do 3 sets of 10 with 75.
And so as dumbbell pressing, it began around 40 pounds. He states I was doing around 50 pounds. It was actually 40. And by the end of it, 75 pounds for 3 sets of 10. And so his strength has shot up. But oftentimes what happens is when you first start training is you learn to properly do the movement. And so of course your strength is going to go up. It's going to shoot up. It's very easy to get a lot stronger, but it's a lot harder to put on muscle. And so although his strength has gone up by over 50% on some of these exercises, of course his muscle size hasn't gone up by 50%. It takes a lot longer.
You have to be happy with like a 2% body fat increase of muscle gain.
And so I wish all my clients were like this. I would be happy with a 2% increase in body fat and gaining 2 to 3 pounds of muscle. Do you know how easy this is in 100 days, even if you don't try? Like if you just show up to the gym and half-ass everything, literally, you don't go to level 4, you're at level 1, you're just going through the motions. Increase body fat by 2%.
Hey, hold your fire
So
on that,
2% of 150 pounds is about 3 pounds of body fat. So his goal would be
Kentucky that's gonna be negative on the heat though, I went down.
I'd like to gain 2 or 3 pounds of muscle. Imagine gaining 3 pounds of fat.
They're taking the last
gaining
point,
2
so the
pounds of
server's about to
muscle
reset
while
anyways.
using creatine, training your ass off for 100 days and being happy with that.
You know what? It was actually kind of badass right at the end. I'll take it.
That have raised their hands. Most people would throw in the towel. Most people would quit. Now, another problem is this. He consistently looks at himself in the mirror. How can you not look in the mirror and see that you haven't gained 2 pounds of fat? He's clearly gained almost entirely all muscle. His body fat percentage has dropped, but he says, I'll be happy with a 2% increase in body fat. And so rather than that lean bulk, we'll call it, lean bulk, you know, I gain about 3 pounds of fat, but about 3 pounds of muscle. It's a lean bulk. It's not bad. Slow gains. Why not just main gain? Did they think of this?
Just because you're slow and fat doesn't mean you can shoot rockets at me.
He didn't increase his body fat percentage.
Damn.
And he went up 5 pounds. And so what does
Talking
that
to the
sound
gunship.
like?
Oh no, fuck.
It sounded like he gained. He kept his body fat about the same. Why should he change it? 13.5, 13.6%. It's fantastic. Let's stay there. Let's not bulk and cut. But if you listen to, for example, Mike Isertel, he'd say, oh, you need to increase your body fat slowly. Let's bulk up for 10 weeks and then let's do a mini cut for 4.
That was fucked up.
Or we just do exactly what he did.
That was fucked up.
Slowly put on muscle while keeping his
got
body
like
fat the same. What's wrong with what he did?
Just straight traces and then go like that. And he's shooting at us.
That was bullshit.
That
was
great. He's exhausted. He's down to 70% body fat. Remember, Mike you have a loss of fluid intelligence when you're on steroids. And so he's struggling.
Honestly, disbelief. So, results are in.
And so the results are in. Jeremy, he's in disbelief. He can't believe steroids work this well.
13.6%. Today, it's at 13.5%, which means your body fat pretty much stayed the same. You're starting at 4 pounds, which means you gained 5 pounds pure muscle.
And so technically, let's correct Jeremy FD's math. I know he only has a master's in kinesiology. I know he doesn't understand these things, but I know that those of you who understand math will get 149 pounds body weight if you take 13.6%. It's actually 20.3 pounds of fat. And his end weight, 154 pounds at 13.5% body fat. If you take that percentage, it's actually 20.8 pounds of fat. And so technically speaking, he actually gained 0.5 pounds of fat and 4.5 pounds of muscle. I know Jeremy doesn't understand it, but it's fine. Most people don't. And so if you main gain and build a bunch of muscle and your body fat percentage stays the same, you're actually gaining a little bit of body fat. I made it easy. If you start out at 100 pounds, 10%, you have 50 pounds of fat. If you then gain 50 pounds of muscle, probably because you're on steroids and you're now 200 pounds at 10% body fat, you now have 10% body fat of 200, which is 20 pounds of body fat. You stayed at 10% body fat, but your total amount of fat on your body went from 15 pounds at 150 to 20 pounds at 200. Does that make sense? Do you get it? Do you understand the math? You now know why your math teachers told you to do that homework. And so, is there anything wrong with that? Of course not. I'm not saying you have to drop your body fat percentage. 10% body fat if you're 200 pounds is just as good as 10% body fat if you're 150 pounds. It's still 10%. But expect to have more fat because you're a bigger person. Does that make sense? Are you getting it now?
In the back, in the back.
19% body fat. Today you're at 7% body fat, which means you lost over 10 pounds in weight. You gained over 13 pounds of muscle.
And Todd, who's on steroids, he went from 19% to 7%. Bro shredded.
Oh shit, it's Nemesis. Everyone hide your drugs.
12% body fat while cutting for a bodybuilding competition. And all the while, he put on more muscle than last time. And so Bro gained 13 pounds of muscle, his other buddy gained 4.5. And so almost literally 3 times as much muscle while losing all that fat at the same time. And so notice, gaining muscle and lost fat at the same time. But of course, he was on steroids.
Cost transformation is an incredible feat, even with the help of steroids. He still gains significantly more muscle than the average natural powerful lifter.
And so he's saying he gained significantly more muscle than the average lifter. I'd have to say
Load
yes.
up the
His
supply
body weight
truck.
went up 5 pounds. He put on 4.5
I love
pounds
perk
more.
30s.
That is definitely
He loves perk
but
30s.
the average person also doesn't start at 13.6% body fat. The average person doesn't have a personal trainer coaching them, telling them what to eat, everything with them in person, every step of the way, encouraging them, telling them to do more reps.
So while I respect Todd's choice to hop on gear, in my opinion, unless you're as dedicated to competing as Todd or need testosterone for health reasons, the risks simply aren't worth it.
And so despite the fact that Todd had way more improvements than he expected, that he did phenomenally, he's saying it's still not worth it unless you're a bodybuilder. I mean, that's his choice to say this. Of course, I encourage people not to use or abuse performance-enhancing drugs, but we're not going to lie and tell you.
Alpha Main to all stations. Light vehicles are now available from the depot at Point, Massachusetts. Out.
Let's go. Where you at, Twan?
Alpha Main to all stations. Fuel supplies have reached Point, Massachusetts.
Oh shit,
Out.
I think I see you. Oh yeah, I definitely see you. I'm coming to save you, twin. I'm coming.
Yeah. Alpha Main to all stations. Additional weapons, ammunition, and supplies have reached Point, Massachusetts. Out. All stations, this is Alpha Main. Supplies are being distributed from Point, Massachusetts. Out.
Every time.
It's amazing how many people say that every day.
Well, yeah, but then you have people staying here for a half hour every day as well. People staying here for a half hour every day as well, so.
Well, there's a shitload of players, so
Exactly.
a lot of them don't hear it.
Exactly, so they don't know that.
I just joined.
Exactly.
Also, it's PvE. It's not that serious.
Yeah, but it's just better than sitting here for a half hour, you know?
Well, I'm not going to be sitting here for an half hour. It don't take my that long to make a fucking loadout. If it takes somebody a half hour, they need to rethink their gaming abilities.
Ah, that's a Russian box. That makes sense now.
Where'd the fucking fuel depot go? I just built that gate. Dude, I literally built it right fucking here. Oh my god.
Okay, brother, nobody's built it. What the fuck? I don't have a fucking shovel.
Hey, two spots open, two spots open.
Alright, excuse me, everybody.
Yo, who's driving that piece of shit?
Oh. Let's go, boys.
Fucking multi-kill. You like it with a different symbol, but for fucking supplies, those dumbasses.
On behalf of the team, I would like to apologize for creating that war that led to an explosion of transport truck.
Good job, man. Good job.
Yeah, I tried. Bacon, or sorry, waffles versus pancake. The whole thing that we had to do was waffles versus pancakes, and instead we chose
call him on phone, but I can't find it.
I don't know, I can't barely hear shit over this goddamn music.
We had that conversation already. The guy likes small dicks, that's why we all went kaboom.
Bro, what?
Why are we having this conversation over Well, because we were all on a supply truck, and you gotta pass the time sometime.
Who was driving that?
Because this is a platoon chat matter.
Man,
Yeah, it was like half the platoon in the back of that truck.
Exactly, so it is very much. Alright, we need... chat, where you can just fucking talk to each other when you're sitting next to each other? Nah.
No shit. Did your name say the fat pop-tart or the fat retard?
Yours is a fucking LOL. You need to learn how to spell, you dumb fuck. The fuck does yours even mean?
Yo.
Oh, you see, I started the war. I'm sorry. Alright, let's fucking chill that shit, please, and thank you.
Oh wait, no scope. Where are you at? Why are you not in my Vic anymore?
Alright, who else wants to hop in? Just feel free to join me.
Breaking it down behind us. Holy shit.
I'm popping a bag. I'm throwing a bag right now. I'm throwing a bag.
This dude's got some moves.
What the fuck?
You know,
Hey Pop-Tart, where are you at? I'm gonna come squat over your face after you die.
Concrete, bro.
I could go
I'm
later.
a spawn,
I'd go
man.
so
You
much
come
later.
get some.
What the fuck did that just say?
Get him, that's
Squat
fine.
over your face when you die.
I'll be next to you.
Brother.
I can see your belly button, Wolf.
Grim.
No, I was talking about your body, bud.
Go and
Yeah, that's not...
figure out the
okay.
bacon.
Yeah, you have to be in server in order to do that, so watch what you say.
Wolf, I'm gonna get out and you can get it. I think you do.
I'm so scared.
I do it.
Should be,
There's
fat
like a
fuck.
squiggly line next to the wall.
Get the fuck out of my face.
On PC.
Get out of here.
You don't know my mom.
Shut the fuck up.
Okay, you know what? You fuck up when I'm pumping people at me and bandaging your shit.
I don't want your epi. I don't want your epi. Or your fucking bandages.
Alright, fine then. Blood loss for you.
I'll fucking kill myself before I let you bandage me.
Okay, fine then.
Pop-Tart, I apologize. I didn't mean to offend your
Don't
little
drive.
ass.
Alright, now you can drive. Alright, drive. Get out. Go. Drive.
Go,
Put that
brother,
bitch
we
in
gotta
ultra
leave them
fast.
behind.
Nah, bro, because I'm sick of getting in a car and getting shot at when we drive away.
Nah, bro, I'm too respectful. Nobody does that to me. They can't stop and look at my pecs. Oh yeah.
Ooh, I just gave up my spot in another car for a shirtless dude. I had to.
Dude, if you take the fucking like the vest part of your plate off and you put on a backpack and just have everything in your backpack, it fucking makes your kit so much lighter. It's not even funny.
Yeah. I thought we were fighting communism. Now we have to share all our supplies. Bullshit.
Hey, we got music on. We got music by my best friend on 42.5. Let's listen to this. He's gay, so it's probably not gonna be good music. It's black music.
Where the mute.
Yeah, fuck that shit.
Dude, what are you guys up to?
Sorry, 2 squads on relay. Yeah, they got it. Oh, fellers. Where'd the car go?
Man, what happened there?
Alpha main to all stations. We've captured the FOB at Point Michigan. Out.
Okay, fuck you, GM. It's right here, Keep driving. Trust me, it's right here. Trust me, it's right here.
What an asshole.
I have AP, that popped his tire. He's not having a good time. Well, I walk this lonely road. We have pillars for this, I gotta turn on the walking long distances.
I know, Pyro, but you know what's about to happen, FYI, friendly fire is back you are here, because normally when friendly fire is off, we don't have to have it fun, so I'll give you that one. Well, no, but you might as well consider Pyro when to be.
Well, you know that I'm around. I like it and I love them, cause for me they're all the same. I hug them and I
Shouldn't be off, honestly.
They don't even know my name.
Nah, I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, we really want to be realistic. Yeah, if you shoot your friend,
I roam around.
People are immature.
Leave it on, fuck it.
Fuck it.
It's better this way, dude. So that way fuckers learn not to fucking shoot at everything.
Oh, TK is on? Oh.
You know what that?
And they can join the band.
How do I call in airstrikes on teammates? I mean Russians.
Oh yeah, by the way, if you don't have a Hellstar
Hey, how
on
the
or
fuck
something,
you dance?
you may want to put one on. Trust me.
What are you playing?
I'm turning mine on so everybody knows where I'm at. I'm not taking no chance at that fucking CAS.
Right bumper and right stick.
That one motherfucker the other day, dude, I had my night vision illuminator on, and he's like, oh, this dumb fuck, so it's 5 foot. And it's like,
Do we actually call airstrikes in the server? I never bothered to look at them movie. Or like call it
No, we can't call in. We can't call in airstrikes like AI airstrikes sort of thing, but
yeah.
Can
you call like AI units and shit?
No.
Is there nothing you can call at the MLB? I thought there was some like command you could do.
I got no clue.
Tight shit.
I don't know if it's in the server or not, but once you hit major, if you have the proper binoculars, you can call one.
I did a cartwheel.
oh yeah, we had a cartwheel the
I
whole
don't know
day.
if it's in the server.
I think it is, because I remember seeing something at like near the tent where you spawn, and it was like call in something. They might have took it out though. Last time I looked it was months ago.
Yeah. I was still back there, back in the back.
Yeah.
Oh, bro, we're hit him with a
Naruto run all the way there.
Yeah.
Well, shit, if I get the major, I might try it out, but who knows?
Really gotta hit him with a.
These Iraqis don't know about my
Shit, you get your chopper up, you'll get there quick.
I mean, transporting troops gets you a little bit, but once I get to like lieutenant, captain, I tend not to chase rank after that.
One of the fastest ways is run around with a radio backpack on. People spawn on you and it gives you so much XP so quick.
Yeah, I usually throw a radio backpack on when I'm in a helicopter. I don't know if it actually, like I put it on just because it looks right with my kit, but I don't know if you can actually even use it when you're in a
Get into major lets me use it to call. That's cool.
But like the thing is, I see it'll pop on, say unavailable, then available randomly sometimes. So I don't know why it does that, but I don't know.
You gotta be in base signal, dumb fuck. That's why it does that. Oh yes, hole in the fence. Fuck the hole in the fence. I go my own way. You see that hole in the fence? Fuck that hole in the fence. I'm going this way. Alright, so the capture point's right down here. I know the way.
Yeah, I don't know how far this other platoon made it. Not seeing anybody.
Dude, I can walk faster than some people can run. Kinda crazy. Kids could be so much better. I'm using 7.62. By the way, if you ever get the chance, I know you have it, but you drop the M4 for one of these things. It fucking puts holes through people, dog. This shit's kinda crazy. The spear. Yeah, you have to get it through the arsenal though. Like you can't like bake and load it, yeah.
Oh, well, there's our points. Okay.
Hey, halfway there. Everybody's got to start somewhere.
He's a Master Chief Halo. I had to recruit him, bro.
Blue. Anyway.
Somebody might want to remind him that this is not Halo.
Oh, but he's Master Chief, bro.
Hey, if you guys are on that PC, you can press left control and hold at the same time. Go up to name tag distance and upgrade it to like 900 meters, bro.
Them motherfuckers straight ran me right over. He didn't give no damn.
Bro, he fucking hit that corner. Holy shit.
How do I change the view distance of name tags?
If you're on the keyboard, left control and home, and then it should be.
Did you guys? Yeah, those guys had guns, right?
Name tags, range, and I always put it on head.
They were reaching for a gun. Yeah.
They ran my ass over.
Sounds good to me, boys.
Yeah, they were reaching for a gun. I mean, yeah.
Harrison Hug.
Hey, at least we got a whip now.
Hey, we got a party bus for the whole crew.
Nigga sent a question mark.
Hell yeah.
No blood loss, you were bleeding. What do you mean?
He said, huh?
Yeah. Neither. Here, let's throw him in the trunk. Counterattack.
Shit, homie, you need help, homie? I got you. He's scared to shot me on my defense. I don't see nobody.
Civilians in mosque.
friendly or civvy?
If your rank went down, there's your answer.
Alright, fair enough. Yo, hold fire, hold.
All units be advised, Medic 1-1 and attaches are going to be on East Hill. Osama.
I don't know where this came from. Where we at?
Looks like there was guys down this way to the east.
All units be advised, fire station and TV tower are both pacified.
Solid copy.
Let's go back to the college.
I'm gonna remain in
Lead the
Overwatch
way.
on the 2.
We're San Antonio, that corner. Just go straight down this. Right? Is that east? Yeah. Let's go TV tower. It's right there. I know where the hell it's at. I can see it.